pitch practice for entrepreneurs and Shark Tank without the bite. So this is a place where entrepreneurs get an opportunity to come and talk about their business and get some feedback so that we can help them make it better. Is anybody here from the first time? Oh, awesome, excellent. We have a sign-in sheet, and so if you want to just, only to keep the emails to know what's coming up next week, and hopefully that you'll come back and come pitch your business idea. I hope you have one. If not, maybe you'll get one if you keep coming in or pass the word along. So we're a group of organizers. We're a group sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation, Kansas City, Missouri, and a group of organizers that volunteer to come every day and make this happen. Our whole event was sponsored originally by Ray White. Give a shout out because today is a special day. 3 years we have been in existence here in Virginia Beach. Thanks to the people that show up every week, Ron on the camera, Dave and Brittany, Julian, and of course our good Ray White. I think I've got everybody. And all of you who come here all the time, we thank you for that. So we're excited to be here. We've got a packed schedule. We have a presenter today, and then we have a panel of past presenters who are going to come and talk about what's been going on in their business since. So first I'd like to ask real quick, are there any events coming up this week that people need to know about?
I just marked the calendar, May 15th, 757 Pitch.
Oh, great.
We'll be at the Percolator in downtown Norfolk, so that's going to be really neat. 5:30 to 8:30, and it costs nothing to attend and watch competition.
So that's, is that a Monday?
Tuesday.
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 Okay,
Always a
Tuesday the 15th.
They're VDOT in conjunction with some entrepreneurs around here are having at 1701, I think it's Friday and Saturday, transportation hackathon. So that should be pretty neat down there. So I think it's on 1701's website and their Facebook page and all. If anyone wants to participate, it should be pretty neat.
This Saturday at 9:45 to 11, Troopster is packing care packs for troops. We're sending 150 to Afghanistan, to a unit in Afghanistan. Every fourth Saturday, we have a volunteer event, so anyone is available to come out, help pack some packs, and send them out to troops.
Excellent, awesome. Great. Well, without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker, one of our own. Chris Noyes is going to talk about his new business, KitchenB2B. Can't wait to hear about it.
Thanks,
You're
Karen.
on.
So good morning. I'm Chris Noyes, for those that don't know you or know me. I'm the CEO and co-founder of KitchenB2B. KitchenB2B actually came out of an idea out of here. I was sitting over there in the corner, and caterer was presenting, and one of our biggest complaints that we've heard multiple times in here is that there's not enough kitchen space out there for rent. So I proposed to her, why don't you start the Airbnb of commercial kitchens and event spaces. So that's how this came about. So I put my business analytic team on it, did a little research on it, found out it's not there, looked at how we were going to take the market, and here it is. So KitchenB2B is basically the Airbnb of commercial kitchens with the sharing economy. That's with Airbnb and Uber and a bunch of other things. It's a great way for food businesses or event spaces, anybody else to get started. So if you have event space and you want to sign up, there is no cost to you. You put the price on it. When it rents, you get paid. So the mission of KitchenB2B is to become the #1 online marketplace for shared kitchens, for food entrepreneurs, event spaces. We think there's lots of inventory out there, bingo halls, moose lodges. A lot of these people have kitchens and event spaces that can be utilized and add to their bottom line. Most of the food trucks, the caterers, weddings, all that can be added. Our bread and butter is going to be the churches, because a lot of the churches aren't organized to do it. So you can move on. So this just talks about the same thing, that half the commercial kitchens, they probably have one here, is unused about 50% of the time. So why aren't they turning that into much needed revenue? This would be a much harder business model if Uber didn't come before as an Airbnb. 20 years ago, you would have never gotten some stranger's car. Now you call them and people get in. So that's the biggest hurdle, I think, to getting over co-sharing space. So the time is now. Uber, RV share, boat setters, the rest of them. And we plan to do the same thing for kitchens and event spaces. So let's talk about the revenue, because everybody wants to make money. So the churches, the restaurants, and the kitchens, they would get 80% of the deal. We would take 16%, and our secret sauce of this whole business model is a referral agent. So anybody that signs up, the restaurant, the event space, the kitchen, gets 4% of the revenues every time it rents for the next 3 years. We have affiliate links, so you can put it on your website. We're trying to get the big churches to force the little churches to sign up, and they would get the 4% across the country. You can move on. So like I said, the secret sauce to the business model is the referral agents. Most of the big companies, Uber, Dropbox, PayPal, all those guys, Lisa Mattress, they all use a referral agent system to grow as big as they did. There's no way you can grow a business selling to everybody. You want the masses to sell for you. We're talking to Restaurant Depot. I've been up to their corporate headquarters once. I'll basically hunt them down until they sign on. There's a bunch of other people like that that we're working on. You can go on. So who wants to join the next unicorn? I put up here that we're seeking $300,000 because I pitched on Monday to a VC firm out of Richmond. I knew Volley Trenchers. I can't even pronounce her name now. Yeah. So we pitched to them on Monday. We got feedback last night. They don't think we have enough inventory signed up yet. And so anyway, the 300 grand would be used for hiring more internal employees, because Restaurant Depot deals with about 7,000 clients a day. If I end up landing them, we're going to have a lot of inventory coming in, and we need help organizing it. We would have our own social media platform, so we would hire a young person that never gets off their phone, because that's who's the experts on all that crap. And the trade shows, we'll go to job fairs. Pretty much anybody out there will become our worker. So I'm Chris Noyes, I'm the CEO and co-founder. Chris Arney couldn't make it. John Cassius, some of you might recognize the name from Cassius Real Estate. We're going to use a commercial real estate network across the country to expand this, so we're using his networks. He's also sits on the board of the Greek Orthodox Church in Norfolk, so they have signed up, and they're going to take it across the Greek Orthodox churches across the country. And then Paige is my Chief Technology Officer.
I'm the tech guy.
So there you go. Any questions?
How many rentals have you done so far?
It took a lot more to do the sign up than I anticipated, because on the referral business, so you could get a piece of the action, he could get a piece of the action, we take a piece, and then the restaurant takes a piece. So there's a lot more accounting done on the back end. When I signed up the Greek Orthodox Church, they want to take it upstream. So they want a piece of the action of what the rest of the churches across the country do. So now you've got 4 people taking a piece of the action. We had to go back and add a lot of coding in the back end. We just happened to try and sign up one of the biggest churches around. So they threw us for a loop because they do weddings there. They have like an 8,000 square foot hall there. So they want to sign up, you know, the event space separately from the kitchen. So that's what we added a bunch of event spaces. And they have so many extra freezers. They talked about selling ice, food, and everything else. So we ended up adding Messenger into the program, which took a couple more weeks to code out, because what we realized was we've been talking to Plaza Azteca. They're interested in the church down there. They're trying to communicate directly. We want everything to go through our platform.
Yeah, the Greek Church and Plaza Azteca and those guys are one side of the platform. The other side, obviously, is those who need kitchen space. What's your, you know, how are you getting those guys? How are you finding those pools? Where do you fish for them?
So the same guys that are going to Restaurant Depot to buy chicken, that are caterers, also need space. So my idea is to use the food bloggers, anyone else to sign up for space. The real inventory is the restaurants and the event space. As shitty as it sounds, I don't really care about people renting it out. It's first in market. Once I get everybody signed up, then I have their calendar, then I can't have competition. So my goal is try and sign up as much inventory across the country as fast as possible. And then, you know, the caterers, when I pitched on Monday, up at Startup in Norfolk. Standing in the door, the Hilton guy came in with cookies, and he was passing them out. And I introduced myself on what I was doing, and he was like, hey, we might use you. We have event space. And the guy with him was a caterer, and he was like, I would love to use you. I think there's such a shortage of it, but like I'm going after Culinary Institute. So you get the people coming out of school at the same time.
Cool. The second question is, and I think you kind of alluded to it, are you locking down these spaces so for a period of 1 year or 2 years?
No.
And so the question becomes, if I'm I'm a small caterer, I use your platform to find this church or this, little side operation where I can cook. Once I've done that, what keeps me in the system to keep providing you a cut? It keeps me from going direct.
You're gonna cut me out for 20%? You wanna deal with this guy in the
Yeah,
building?
I'm a small caterer, my margins suck.
Yeah, but I don't care about you. I care about the restaurant. Is the restaurant gonna cut you out? And what are you gonna get, a 20% discount? Why are they gonna cut me out over a few dollars? The churches, all the money's a donation to them. So you're actually better off renting the church than you are the restaurant anyway, because you get the tax write-off on the church.
But once I make the relationship with that church,
You get cut out of any deal. I don't think people will cut you out for 20%.
okay.
I mean, if you went to David and you go, hey, will you take less of your property? David's already gonna get 80 cents on the dollar. What's he gonna do it to you for 84 cents? 85 cents? I mean, how much cheaper is it to David? And you're screwing yourself because now you just took yourself off a platform. David's a small caterer. You have to go in and adjust your platform. So there's a calendar on there, and you sign up with your inventory any way you want. But yeah, people might screw you out of a few pennies, but I don't care.
Yeah, also we built the website kind of like using the eBay model, where all communication messages go through the website. And each person can now see the other's email address. And,
Yeah, but once you make the relationship, that's gone.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but
true, anybody can do that.
Ideally, if you're renting the bingo hall, you're only doing it 1 day a week for 3 hours. You think the bingo hall is gonna screw their capital to pick up and save you 10 cents? They don't care about you. You're a client that's renting 4 hours a week. I think you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. If you have property, you're looking to rent forever. But, I mean, look, I don't really care. I mean, you're gonna get cut out of some deals. eBay gets cut out of some deals. You could do the same thing with pretty much any online platform. I could do the same thing with the Uber guy showing up. You go, hey man, will you try and pay the Uber guy in cash? They won't even do it. So
We're just addressing human nature,
Yeah,
that's all.
Look, you're gonna get some of that in the trade, who cares? I mean, you can't worry about that, just sign up as much shit as possible.
Okay, so if I'm Texas Roadhouse right here, and I've got my kitchen free from 1 in the morning till 11 o'clock in the morning, and I wanna use that, I'm paying rent on that whole time, I might as well be getting some revenue during that time. But some caterer comes in and they trash my place and don't clean it up, and my cooks come in at 11 and they expect to start cooking at 11, and they gotta spend an hour cleaning before I can open, and now I open an hour late. How do you mitigate that risk to the?
So if you're
supply?
Texas Roadhouse and you're smart, you can sign it up where you could add employees. So that caterer's coming in, if he's renting Texas Roadhouse kitchen, he's not a one-man operation, he needs somebody anyway. You can rent your own employees out there and it's part of the platform. Whatever your request is a kitchen, but long-term to solve that issue, we're doing a 5-star rating. So five-star is the baseline at $100. If you leave the kitchen dirty, then you get a 3-star, it might cost you $130. So in the future, you're using an algorithm to determine price. So the guy that's renting their kitchen, Karen's got to put up with your dirty messes. She's getting more revenue out of it.
Well, you can have a cleaning fee. If you leave the kitchen dirty, then you pay $150 cleaning fee, for example.
Yeah.
And then they will stop them from, if you are a small business and smart, you don't want to pay that money because you have their credit card. If the kitchen complains that it's dirty, you charge their credit card right away, or you can hold some of that money on the credit card, and if they return it clean, you return it back. So that might be the safer way.
Yeah, so you have like Citrus down at the beach, they close at 3 o'clock. Why aren't they doing wedding parties in like? They could have their own kitchen staff doing it. Just because you're a restaurant like Egg Bistro, we talked to them, they close at 2 o'clock on the day. They're interested in event space, so you're 1 million cups and you need somewhere to go. you could rent an event space. If they're smart, they would rent their event space super cheap. They're still getting all the cooking and the catering. Andrew? what's up?
Do you see a site like weddingwire.com as more like a partner or a competitor? Because that's a site that connects people who need things for their wedding, like event spaces, caterers.
You know what?
stuff like
That's a
that.
good idea. Never even heard of them.
Yeah, it's big. And there's another one called the. Actually, I don't remember. There's another big one too.
So ideally, yeah, if you're the referral agent, you can sign up a commercial place like that. I give you a piece of the action. I'm not trying to sign up all these people. I'm trying to use all you guys as labor.
I think they already have rating systems going on through like for venues and caterers and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's similar but not.
So we have affiliate links, and that's what we're doing with, like I have a group out of Chicago that I talked to last night. They have some local search engine optimizer, regional, that they want to take our platform and sign everybody up. So I talked to them last night, and they're also working on restaurant.com because they're corporate offices there. So it's really hard to get to corporate offices in today's social media. It's not very easy to get to the right person.
I assume there's a kind of mutual rating system, kind of something like Uber.
Yeah, so we have to build that. I mean, that's part of the back end of raising money is, you know, you have all these things that now you have data. You have to organize the data and make sure that the data that you're organizing is going to work for you.
Yeah, but see, if it's a caterer, that solves the problem. Caterers constantly leaving a place messy. They're getting bad ratings.
Well, that's where the stars go. So it would cost the caterer more money.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of
Yeah,
like mutual. You can start matching
Yeah.
the fives to the fives or whatever.
But you need the data. So Steve might pay more because it's a free market. If Karen wants to rent her place super cheap, then Steve might not want it because Karen's place is dirty, and she would list out, I got pizza ovens, I got bakery ovens, and I think you're going to take it a step farther. So if you had a hot sauce company that you were pitching in here, you could just reach out to Steve on the West Coast and go, hey, here's the license, here's what material we're using, here's the label. I'll send you 5,000 bottles. You can bottle it at any of these churches, and now you're getting more regional business, and you don't have to have co-packers all over the place, and you can control some of your inventory costs going from a small place like this all the way across, you know.
Talk a little bit about insurance and food handling for us.
So my personal belief is I'm like Amazon. Amazon is not responsible for counterfeit material on their website or anything else. So it's shocking. Being an online platform, you're not responsible. Craigslist is not responsible for prostitution. Almost no online platform. Huh?
They got rid of it.
Yeah, they got rid of it because of the pressure.
That just changed last month.
Yeah.
But look at Amazon. Half the stuff they're selling is counterfeit in one way or another, and it's a lot of it, and nobody wants to talk about it. But we did talk to an insurance company. It's all about the restaurant, whatever the restaurant requires. So, and that could be Texas Roadhouse might have to have their own employees in there. We talked to Plaza Azteca. They're very difficult to deal with just because they're Plaza. But we know those guys well. They rent their Granby space overnight to one of their sister companies, and they're actually looking for bigger space. So they're very interested in doing it, and they're like 70 locations.
You mentioned payouts for
For
a
you,
better
because you're
word,
going to sign people up today.
for a better word, levels. It's sounding like I'm an MLM. How do you get around not having to register in every state to pay out 4 levels?
That is a good question. I don't know.
Because if it starts walking like the MLM
It doesn't
duck,
keep going.
I'm just saying, you gotta watch out you don't start walking like the MLM duck. Then your attorney generals in all your states are gonna start noticing.
Yeah, look, Uber gets sued a lot. Once you get first to market, who cares? Yeah, I mean,
Does Uber pay out like that?
Uber pays out all the time. Look,
Multi-levelage?
well, I'm not doing but 2 levels.
Oh, I thought you said 4 a little bit earlier. That's
Okay,
what
there's
raised
4
the
people in
question.
the trade. I'm taking money. You sign up the restaurant, you get 4%. It's his restaurant, he gets 80%. And so this happened with Norfolk Church, Greek Church. They want to take it up to all the big churches across the country. So what happened was they want 1% of the trade. The big church that they're going to, the big Greek Orthodox church, is going to force all the little ones, is getting 3% in a donation. The other church is getting 80% in a donation, and we're getting to 16%. So it stops there. It doesn't keep going. But referral fees are done by Dosh and a lot of other companies online. That's how Uber grew so big. That's how a lot of companies have grown so big. So I don't see how it's any different from that. But I was reading an article last night on new technologies and new companies about going to the market. How legal do you have to be? Because the legality of most of the things, look at Airbnb. They're getting kicked out of Paris and some other places because there's a cap on how many days they can rent. Get first to market, and you can worry about the things that are not going to put you under. And that's why I'm trying to sign up as much inventory, because basically you're not doing a multi-level marketing. You're doing one phase out, and if it's with the churches, well, they get away with all sorts of stuff anyway. So, I mean, no one's going. Attorney General is not going
Facebook
after
was
the
getting away
church.
with a lot too until, I'm just not
Well, there
being-
still are.
Until they have $1 billion and they can afford it.
You know.
Yeah, look, if you get fined $20 and you made $200 million and morally you did nothing wrong, who cares?
Well, Facebook is not a fine, it's a stock devaluation.
It's
That's what they're paying.
$654,000 that they donated to the Congress members that grilled them. Look, I'll donate money to Congress too. I have no issue with that. You're acting like that really hurt them. I mean, they're way overvalued now.
Well, ask them. I'm just saying.
Well, they have fake clients on
I'm
their
just trying to say,
website,
if in the presentation, it sounded like levels.
but yeah. Yeah, I'll clear it up a little
Okay.
bit, but yeah, ideally you're just stacking a referral, but all the big companies, Lisa Mattress does a referral. So that's the new way to try and drive business, because the referral numbers, I watched a presentation on Airbnb about referrals, and they swear that's why they got so big. So they did this 50-minute presentation on how the ROI on referral business is extremely better than anything else you could do.
Oh yeah, well, it's like Acton said when he created WhatsApp, he said, create something that's so good that other people are gonna tell their friends about it, basically. So,
Well, there's definitely a lot of event spaces and kitchens that are going underutilized, but how many people and how many businesses need these spaces? What's the market size there?
I don't know. I didn't even put one in my pitch deck. I talked to the VCs on Monday. They asked me the same thing. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, if it costs me nothing because I'm not paying for the real estate, I don't know if the market's $100 million a year, because ideally, New York, Paris, all the big markets where they have a co-sharing kitchen in New York that's 60,000 square feet. There's plenty of inventory out there. Kitchen Time in Richmond, they're building real estate for kitchens. There's plenty of inventory out there that's unutilized. There's no way to guess at a market share. And that's what I told the VCs, and all we would do is argue about how big it is. And you're gonna either think I'm high or low, so I left it off.
So what data points have you considered to argue how big that market size is?
None. Every hotel in Tidewater has an event space that you can rent. Why are people if I need event space in Virginia Beach, you have to call all these hotels and all these different places. Well, heck, the bingo hall down the road that's not utilizing, it might be the cheapest for what I need. Let the market decide price.
Right, well, that's the event side. That market is certainly validated.
Yeah.
But on the rental kitchen side.
So Kitchen Time.
How many new restaurants start and fail every year might be a good proxy, right? I think that data is probably readily available from
the commercial real estate guys that are involved with me, they say every time there's a restaurant that they have empty, you have all the caterers calling all day long, every day, wanting to know if they can use them. The landlords aren't interested in just setting up a 2-month use. So there's plenty of people that are coming out of Culinary Institute or even in here all the time complaining about, trying to get in with the church. The church is, so from John Cassidy's point of view, he sits on the board of the church. From their point of view, their parishioners are all using their churches and running restaurants out of the place. They want to stop that because they're not getting any revenue from it. And that's what's happening to the caterers. So you have a deal with Norfolk Greek Orthodox Church, you go in there and,
I don't think you have to convince me especially that a market exists. I was just trying to give you some pointers of how to size that market, because that's going to be important, consistently important in those conversations with venture capitalists.
You know, at this stage of the game, I think for what the value is and how big the market is, I mean, those guys didn't really drill me down on that. I mean, we were in the pitch on Monday, that came up and I responded just like that. And the guy called me last night and he was like, Chris, I mean, we're interested, as soon as you sign up some inventory, we're interested. You know, sometimes if you guess on a market size, you know, what data points are you gonna use? I mean,
That's the billion-dollar question.
yeah.
All right, the last two questions here.
Yeah, mine was just last question. Mine was just what can 1 million cups do for you?
I saw a bunch of people. Go be my free labor.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know the answer.
All right,